Hi boys and girls, welcome to story time today. Today we are going to read Mr. Lazy. And do you know what Mr. Lazy is? He's lazy. Do you know what that means? It means that he doesn't like to do lots of activities. He likes to lie on the couch, lays about in bed. He doesn't like doing any work or any jobs. And today actually, I was a little bit lazy this morning. I stayed in bed when I should have been up. So Miss Ryan was a bit lazy today. So Mr. Lazy is our story. And it's okay being lazy sometimes, but I think Mr. Lazy is probably lazy a lot of the time. Let's see what happens. Mr. Lazy. Mr. Lazy lives in Sleepyland, which is a very lazy looking and sleepy like place. The birds in Sleepyland fly so slowly that sometimes they fall out of the sky. The grass takes so long to grow, it only needs cutting once a year. Even the trees are lazy looking and sleepy like. And do you know what time everyone gets up at in Sleepyland? Look, the trees are sleepy and the bird is about to fall down because he's so tired and sleepy. The answer is they don't get up in the morning. That's when we get up. They get up in the afternoon. What? That's so silly. And incidentally, this is what a Sleepyland clock looks like. Everything takes so long to do, there's only time for 4 hours in the day. Can you point to number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4? Well done! Anyway, this story starts with Mr. Lazy being fast asleep in bed. In Sleepyland, they call that being slow asleep. He spends rather a lot of time in bed. It's his favourite place to be. He has a smile on his face. That shows he likes being in bed. He opens his eyes, yawns again, and goes back to sleep. Later, Mr. Lazy opened his eyes again, yawned again, and went back to sleep again. Much later, Mr. Lazy got up and went to make his breakfast. We say breakfast, although really it was tea time. He put the kettle on to make some tea. Kettles take 2 hours to boil in Sleepyland. Then he toasted a slice of bread. Bread takes 3 hours to brown in Sleepyland. Toast never gets burnt there. That's a long time to wait. While he was waiting for his kettle to boil and his bread to toast, Mr. Lazy went into the garden of Yawn Cottage, which was where he lived. He sat down on a chair, and you can probably guess what happened next. That's right, he yawned again and went to sleep. He fell asleep again. He couldn't be tired. No way. Suddenly he woke up with a jump, which is something that doesn't happen very often to Mr. Lazy. And the reason he woke up with a jump was because of the noise. "Wake up," said the noise. "Wake up, wake up, wake up." There were 2 men standing in front of him. He got a big fright. "I'm Mr. Busy," said one of the men. "And I'm Mr. Bustle," said the other. "Come along now," said Mr. Bustle busily. "We can't have you sleeping all day," added Mr. Busy, bustling Mr. Lazy to his feet. "But who are you?" asked Mr. Lazy. "We're Bustle and Busy," they replied. "Oh," said Mr. Lazy. "Come along now," said Mr. Busy. "We haven't got all day." But, said Mr. Lazy. "No time for buts," said Mr. Busy, "or ifs," said Mr. Bustle. There's the wood to chop, and the beds to make, and the floors to clean, and the coal to get, and the windows to polish, and the plates to wash, and the furniture to dust, and the grass to cut, and the hedges to clip, and the food to cook. And the clothes to mend, said Mr. Busy. That is a lot of jobs to do. They're going to have a very busy Wednesday. Oh dear, groaned Mr. Lazy in a daze. The wood to clean, and the beds to get, and the floors to cut, and the coal to cook, and the windows to make, and the plates to mend, and the furniture to chop, and the grass to wash, and the hedges to dust, and the clothes to clip. He got it all wrong. He was in such a daze. Silly Billy Mr. Lazy. Then Bustle and Busy set Mr. Lazy to work, chopping and making, and cleaning and getting, and polishing and washing, and dusting and cutting, and clipping and cooking and mending, not to mention all the fetching and carrying. Poor Mr. Lazy. Now, they said when he'd finished, it's time for a walk. And off they set on the longest walk Mr. Lazy had ever been on. Mr. Lazy is one of those people who never walks when he has a chance of sitting down, and never sits down when he has the chance to lie down. Oh, he looks very sad. I like going for walks. It's a pity Mr. Lazy doesn't. But this day he had no choice. They made him walk for miles and miles and miles until his legs felt like they were worn right down. Poor Mr. Lazy. When they arrived back at Yawn Cottage, Mr. Busy said, "Right, now for a run." "Oh no," groaned Mr. Lazy. "When I blow the whistle," said Mr. Bustle, producing a whistle, "you've got to start running." "As fast as you can," added Mr. Busy. Mr. Lazy groaned a deep groan and closed his eyes. Mr. Bustle put the whistle to his lips. Whee! Wheeled the whistle. Whee! Went the whistle. Mr. Lazy, poor Mr. Lazy, started to run, but his legs weren't getting him anywhere. He opened his eyes and looked down to see why. And the reason his legs weren't getting him anywhere was because he was sitting in a chair in the garden. And there was no sign of Mr. Busy and Mr. Bustle. It had all been a terrible dream. And the whistle was the whistling kettle boiling in the kitchen. He'd been dreaming the whole time. Mr. Lazy heaved a sigh of relief, and then he went into the kitchen and sat down to have his breakfast and to think about his dream. And you know what happened next, don't you? What do you think happened next? I think he's after falling asleep. Wake up, Mr. Lazy! Wake up, wake up, wake up! He's dreaming again because he's fallen asleep. What a funny man he is. Dreaming about running and walking when there are things he doesn't like to do. Do you know what's another thing I like to do? It's going on a bus. And today we're going to sing The Wheels on the Bus, boys and girls. Are you ready? So I'll count to 3 and then we'll start. 1, 2, 3. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round all day long. The horn on the bus goes beep, 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 beep. The horn on the bus goes beep, beep, beep all day long. The wipers on the bus go swish, 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 swish. The wipers on the bus go swish, swish, swish all day long. The people on the bus stand up and down, up and down, up and down. The people on the bus stand up and down all day long. The driver on the bus says, "Move along, please. Move along, please. Move along, please." The driver on the bus says, "Move along, please," all day long. What great singing! I can't wait till we're singing in our classroom again and dancing around the room and having fun. Boys and girls, I will see you tomorrow, and thank you so much for listening.